All right, calculus, here we are. We're going to try our first video like we would have in class. So let's pretend that we've been together a few days here, and I am talking about here, page 3 in your review unit packet. All right, so we're going to try to make videos in different fashions. Going to see how this works. Anyway, we're talking about this right here, calculus review unit. Fall 2020 practice problems. Anyway, this is page 3 at the bottom. So probably won't be able to talk either if you're in a group A or B or fully remote. Obviously, then I won't be able to talk about it with you in person. So we're going to start with number 1. Find an equation for the line that passes through the point 2, -5 and has a slope of -3. All right, slope of -3 means y equals -3x plus b. Let's see how that shows up. That looks good. You might have to, somehow make your screen bigger, but I think we can make it work. It's a learning curve for all of us. All right, anyway, I have an x and a y to plug in all 4 of these parts. So -5 is equal to -3 times 2 plus b. -5 is equal to -6 plus b. b is 1. All right, so your equation of the line that goes through that point and has slope of -3 is y equals -3x plus 1. I like that question early on. Number 2, parallel to the x-axis. Okay, so it goes through 2, -5, and it is parallel to the x-axis. Okay, well, what should we do there? We should draw our coordinate plane, x, y, and if it's parallel to the x-axis, and it goes through 2, -5, there's 2, -5, if it's parallel to the x-axis, that's the line. Okay, what's the slope of that line? That line is never rising, it's always running. So its slope is 0. Therefore, I have the line y is constantly -5. All right, I'm always 5 below sea level, if you want to think about it like that. All right, y equals -5 would be my slope. Now, take a look at the next one, C. C says parallel to the y-axis. Parallel to the y-axis instead of going, it's going to go through that point again, but if it's parallel to the y-axis, it's going to go up and down like that. It is always rising, it is never running, it has an undefined slope. All right, so x is the thing that is constantly 2. X is constantly 2. That would be the equation of that line. X equals 2. Y is changing, but x is always 2. All right, look at D there is parallel to the line 2x minus 4y is 3 as I try to erase this just like you're in class here. All right, so parallel to, so it goes through, 2, -5, and it's parallel, those 2 lines up mean parallel to 2x minus 4y is 3. Did I read that right? Yeah. Okay, so parallel lines have the same slope. Therefore, I shall find the slope. Now, I don't need to get this slope-intercept form. Believe it or not, I can just move that over. 2x is 4y plus 3. Then I'm going to divide everything by 4 because all I care about is the number attached to x when y is all by itself. So y is not all by itself, but I would just move that over. I don't care that the y-intercept here is -3/4. All I care is that y is all by itself, and I have 1/2 attached to x. So the slope is 1/2. Okay, I can't divide everything by -4 right away because x and y are on the same side. I got to get x on one side and y on the other. All right, so it goes through 2, -5, and it has a slope of 1/2, so y equals 1/2 x plus b. There's x, there's y. -5 is a 1/2 times 2 plus b. Negative 5 is 1 plus b. B is a negative 6. So y equals 1/2 x minus 6. And that is question 1. All right, so be prepared to do that on one of the 2 homework assignments you're going to have in this review units. Okay, I'm pretty much decided we'll be doing quizzes and exams via Google Meets, so this is another good one to see you there. I've kind of enhanced all your tests and your exams and quizzes because I will allow you the notes that you have on those. All right, we'll talk about what is not allowed and the certain time we have to do it as we get closer to the school year. All right, number 2, find an equation for the circle that has a center of negative 1, 4 and passes through 3, negative 2. So first off, here's the equation of the circle. It's good to know. You might have learned that in geometry. You definitely learned that in pre-calculus. All right, so the center is h comma k, and r is the radius. R is the radius. So I have a center of negative 1, 4. Negative 1, 4 is my center. And it goes to the point 3, negative 2. Okay, so I'm going to plug negative 1 in for h. So x minus the negative 1 is actually x plus 1. And then y minus 4 is equal to the radius squared. Or what am I going to do there? I'm given no info about the radius. So instead, I'm going to use the fact that it goes through. It goes through the points 3, negative 2. All right, that's an x and a y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug 3 in for x and negative 2 in for y. Let's see what happens. 3 plus 1 squared plus negative 2 minus 4 squared is equal to r squared. All right. 4 squared plus a negative 6 squared is equal to r squared. 16 plus 32 is equal to the radius squared. 52 is equal to the radius squared. You might be tempted to take the square root of 52 and say, hey, this radius is 2 root 13. You're correct, but let's go back to the original equation. All I care about is r squared, so I've got everything I need to know. My equation would be x plus 1, parentheses squared, plus y minus 4, parentheses squared is equal to 52. That's the equation of my line. All right, there we go. Then, let's talk about another lovely question involving the circle on number 3 here. How are we doing time-wise? Okay, just under 8 minutes. Great. This is one of the first of these types of videos, so I'm sure they will get better. Gotta give me be a little patient with me here. Find the center and the radius of the equation, or of the circle with that equation. Find the center and the radius. So first off, how is it written? It's written as x squared plus y squared, oh geez, minus 6x plus 10y plus 9 is 0. All right, here's what we're going to do. First off, let's get the x's together. So x squared minus 6x, going to leave a space, plus y squared plus 10y, and then I'm going to move that 9 over. Now, guys, from the previous question, know that the standard form for a circle is this. All right, x minus h, something that's been factored, it's squared. Perfect square binomial, perfect square binomial. So, what we're going to do is try to create that here, all right? Something called completing the square. All right, how do we complete the square? Well, take half the middle term. What's half the middle term? Negative 3. Then I'm going to take that negative 3 and I'm going to square it. It's always positive, okay? So what multiplies to 9 adds to negative 6. Negative 3 times negative 3, that's a perfect square. Now notice I added 9 to the left side. I got to add a 9 to the right side here to keep things equal and balanced. Same thing with the y. I'm going to take that middle term, which is 10. That middle term is 10. I'm going to take half of it, 5. Then I'm going to take 5 and I'm going to square it. 5 squared is 25. So I add a 25 to the left while also adding a 25 to the right. Then my equation for the circle comes in one big swoop here. How does that factor? That is x minus 3 times x minus 3. How does this factor? What multiplies 25 as 10 two fives? Y plus 5 squared. Y plus middle term's positive, middle term's negative. The sign in the middle always matches the middle term. Equals 25. Okay, so that is the equation of my circle. Now I want to know what's the center and the radius. Well, the center is, now be careful, it's x minus h, y minus k, so it's always the opposite. That's negative 3, and the center is positive 3, negative 5. And if r squared is 25, then the radius is 5. All right, there we go. That was a fun one. You should have done that plenty of times in pre-calculus. Now, my favorites on this page is our last one at number 4. Let's talk about number 4. Given 2 points, I needed that up there. Find all that sweet info you can given 2 points. I'm gonna give myself a little marking there. I guess it goes all the way up. Great. Okay, so on this next one, let's A, B, what is that? 7, negative 7, 4. Let A be negative 7.